Hey yogis, I'm Nicole. Thanks for joining me today. Welcome back to my yoga time. Today's class we're going to focus on Asteya. So Asteya is one of the Yamas, and the Yamas are one of the limbs in the 8-limbed yoga system which Patanjali shared with us over 2,000 years ago in the Yoga Sutras. So in Sanskrit, Asteya translates to non-stealing. So at a glance, it's easy to consider, well, I don't steal from others. I'm not stealing anyone else's possessions or their things. But this extends beyond just the tangible material things. It's also the subtle things in life. Non-stealing of others' words, ideas, energy, and time. I'm sure we've all experienced an energy vampire at some point in our life. But also consider if you're hoarding or when you're shopping, if you're purchasing more than what you need. That could also be considered that you're stealing from others because you're taking what you might not need and then it's not available for someone else who's in a greater need than yourself. But Asteya can also flow on to you as well, stealing from yourself. So if we are focusing constantly on something that's happened in the past, and we're attaching to that scenario, which has the potential to lead to depression, or if we're constantly focusing on the future and we're attaching to things playing out a certain way, which has the potential to lead to anxiety, then we're not in the present moment. And it's only right here, right now, in the present moment that we can truly experience an inner peace and real rejuvenation and relaxation. So if we are constantly focused on the past or the future, we're stealing that potential peace from ourselves by not being in the present moment. And this can also flow on into the mat as well. If we are attached to our practice, achieving a certain pose or feeling a certain way or looking a certain way in a pose, and then we come to the mat later on in the week and our energy levels aren't quite what they were, and we're pushing ourselves to fit into this mold that we've created in our mind, we're stealing energy from ourselves that we don't have. Every time we come to the mat is an opportunity to be present, to be here now, and to be at peace with wherever your body is. So, on that note, let's begin. Now, for this practice, I'm not going to use blocks, but if you are tight in the hips, do recruit yourself 2 blocks because they will come in handy. And I'll just get you to start coming onto all fours, moving into a child's pose. So big toes to touch, knees as wide as the mat. And I want you to round your back and then sink back towards the heels. We're going to reach the arms out in front, up onto the pads of the fingers so the palms are lifted, elbows are lifted, but your forehead can rest on the mat or on the block. So a little activation here through the shoulders. Gently draw the shoulders back towards the hips. Begin to witness the breath. Feel the in-breath expand the body from the inside out. Take a moment to pause before you exhale slowly. Next inhalation, lift the head and let's walk the hands a little to the left, just as far as you can comfortably go. Stay high on those armpits. You can stay high on the fingertips, not the armpits. You can bend the left elbow a little and lift your right armpit just to deepen that side bend without overstraining. And let's take it over to the other side. So left arm will stay straight, right arm can bend. Little lift in the left armpit. And let's come back to center. So onto all fours now into your tabletop position. And option here is just a little bit of freestyle. So you might like to move through your cat-cow stretches or maybe take a circular motion through the hips. Just noticing how you're feeling in your lower back and in your hips. And feel free to take longer there if you need to. Otherwise, we'll move on to an ITB stretch. Raising your right leg behind you, take it over to the left, look over your left shoulder. Press into the hands, the hip and the heel. Then come back to center, curl the left toes under. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, knee to nose. So option 1, you'll continue with this motion. Option 2, you'll take it up into a 3-legged dog. Exhaling, knee to nose, coming forward into plank. So make sure you round the upper back and press into the pads of the fingers. You might find the middle part of the palm lifts just a touch. Let's do one more. And then with your next exhalation, step through to lizard pose. So the right foot's going to come through to the outside of the right hand. Now, if you're tight in the hips, here is where you'll need to recruit your blocks. You can lower your left knee to the mat. So if you're really tight, just take those blocks to the highest height. Otherwise, a little lower, or hands to the mat. So I want you to keep your big toe knuckle pressing down and keep this knee drawing in. Lots of variations to lizard, but today we're going to keep it simple. We're still warming up. I want you to feel like you're drawing that back knee forward and the right heel back. Just so you've got a nice safe amount of muscular activation around your sacrum, around your hips. Let's draw the hands back and reach the heart forward. Breathe. Now for yogis who are tight in the hips, I'll demonstrate for you first. Take your blocks, you're going to take them for a walk over towards your left foot. So lifting up the left knee, you can turn the left toes out. So a little bend in the left knee, straighten your right leg and engage the quad. So you want to draw up the kneecap. Hands can stay on the blocks. So that's option 1. If you're not using your blocks, hands will go for a walk. I'm lifting up my left heel, so I've tucked the toes under. And then straightening the right leg. Again, engage the quad, draw up the knee. You don't want to hyperextend on that knee. If your balance is tested, keep the fingertips on the floor. Otherwise, maybe one hand to prayer or both hands to prayer. Feel as though you're trying to drag the right heel back towards the hips. Well done. One more breath. And as you exhale, lower those hands down, return to the front of the mat. We'll move into half pyramid pose. So left knee to the floor, but straighten the right leg. Again, try and drag the heel back, engage the quad. Using the blocks if you need to. Inhale. And if you like, you can exhale and fall forward over that leg. Or you can sit back, walk the hands back and sit on your left heel. Take the fingertips behind you. Keep a little downward pressure in your right heel. And from here, let's step up to the top of the mat. Raise the left leg as high as you comfortably can. And then lower the left foot down next to the right. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Feet are hip width apart. Bend the knees. Bring the arms up. Sink the weight back into your heels and try and squeeze the heels in towards one another. Inhale and exhale, hands down. Step it back, downward facing dog. Holding here as you inhale and then exhale, knees to the mat. Return to tabletop. Freestyle once again, either move through your cat-cow stretches or maybe make a circular motion through the hips. And then when you're ready, left leg up behind you, over to the right, look over your shoulder. And come back to center, curl those right toes under. Exhaling, knee to nose. Inhale to lift the leg. Again, option 1 is there. Option 2, lift up into your 3-legged dog. Exhaling into plank, knee to nose. Exhaling forward into lizard pose, foot to the outside of the hand, lower the right knee to the mat. Blocks are there if you need to. So remember to try and draw the feet closer towards one another. Breathing into the hips. Where attention goes, energy flows. And from here we'll lift up, moving over towards the right foot. Take the blocks if you need to. So I'm lifting up my right heel, toes are tucked under. If you're feeling stable, hands to prayer. And try and drag ever so subtly that left heel towards the hips. Well done. Hands return to the top of the mat, square the hips, pyramid pose, half pyramid, right knee to the mat, straightening the left leg. Feel free to fold forward there or walk the hands back a little further, sitting back towards the heel, take the hands behind you. And let's walk the hands forward, raise the right leg, standing splits. Just briefly, right foot down, prepare for chair pose, bending in the knees, bringing the arms up. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Half lift, bring the arms with you, thumbs point to the ceiling. Higher out the breath as you fold. Step it back, downward dog. Inhale, right leg up. Step it through in between the hands and ground your left foot on a 45-degree angle for warrior one. Inhale to bring the arms up. And then exhale, lower them down, just take them to the hips as you bend in the right knee. So, most of us will feel better if the feet are a little bit wider. If you've got concerns with your back knee or ankle or foot or pregnancy, lift up the heel so it's a high lunge. Otherwise, it's a 45-degree angle, toes starting to point to the front corner of the mat. So bending in the right knee, pressing the feet away from one another. Let's bring the arms out in front. As you inhale, little back bend, bring the arms back. Exhale, arms forward, round the back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down to shoulder height. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last round. This time, inhale the arms out. From there, turn the thumbs down, roll the shoulders forward and down. Take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Option one is here in your back bend. Option two, humble warrior, folding forward on the inside of the leg. Slightly tuck in your chin, move your neck back, reach your knuckles up towards the ceiling. Inhale. And as you exhale, lower the hands down. Step it back into your plank, and then see if you can come down onto your forearms. If you need to lighten this, one knee to the mat, or come down into your Sphinx pose instead. Otherwise, hold your forearm plank if your energy levels suffice. Round the upper back, tuck the tailbone a little. Keep breathing. Hand lower down. Sphinx pose. Feel free to take a little neck stretch here. Drop one ear towards the shoulder. Then the other. And let's lower down, hands underneath the shoulders now, tucking the tailbone under. As you inhale, lift the legs and the chest. Try and drag the hands back. And then exhale to lower. 2 more. Return to plank. Round out the upper back before your downward facing dog. Let's repeat on the other side, left leg up. Look forward, step through. Ground the back foot, warrior 1. Take the legs as wide as is comfortable for your hips and back. And then lower down, hands can come to the hips as you get yourself set up. So it's really important in your practice, and the way that I encourage you to practice is to change the yoga to fit your body today. So if your hips are tight, the feet go wider. You don't have to have heel to heel alignment. The yoga needs to be adapted to fit the body. Gently press into both feet as though you're trying to stretch the mat. Take the arms out in front. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Arms coming back. Turn the thumbs down, roll the shoulders, interlace the fingers. Inhaling into your back bend, option to fold forward, humble warrior. Well done, hands lower to the mat. Step it back into your plank. This time bring the shoulders forward a little as though you're looking over a cliff. Press into the pads of the fingers and round the upper back. Then try and turn the heels of the palms in as you come all the way down to the mat. Well done, yogis. Tailbone tucks under, and just as we did before, inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Third time, we're going to stay up. Lower your right foot as you look over your left shoulder to the left foot. And then back to center, lower left foot, look over your right shoulder. Lift the right foot. 2 more. Keep gently drawing the hands back. And lower down. Make a pillow with your hands. Let the heels fall out wide. Crocodile pose. From here, let's lift up into another wide-legged child's pose, just as we did at the beginning. Big toes to touch, knees wide, round the back, and then sink back. This time, option to flatten your palms, arms out in front, or bring your hands into prayer above the head. Lower the hands down and come up to seated. If your knees permit, come to kneeling. If your knees aren't happy they're kneeling, just take a cross-legged position and we'll catch you up in just a moment. So 2 choices for those kneeling yogis. We're just going to release tension, potential tension in the tops of your feet. So if you like, you can use your hands as you lean back, lift up the knees, draw the elbows back and broaden the chest. Or you can take Dhyani Mudra, left palm on top of the right, create a little bowl with your hands, thumbs to touch, and then no hands, lift up the knees. Relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, and lower down. If you're truly comfortable here in your kneeling position, stay. Otherwise, feel free to cross your legs. We're just going to be seated for a minute or two as we do a little pranayama. So tip of the tongue is placed where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. There's a little space between the top and bottom teeth. The jaw is relaxed, though the throat is a little toned, a little constriction through the back. Feel free to close the eyes. Ever so slightly drop the chin and move the neck back. Feel the heart lift. Shoulders relax. Dhyani mudra is the mudra of contemplation. As you inhale, let the breath descend from the crown of the head to the tailbone. And then pause. As you exhale, gently engage Mula Bandha. Ladies to lift through the pelvic floor. Gents perineum muscle. Draw the navel in. Then as you inhale, relax these muscles, let the breath descend. Pause. And a little tone as you exhale. Out breath, ascend. Well done, yogis. If you're kneeling, come forward into tabletop. You might like to give the feet a little bit of a pat out. And from here, we're going to come down onto our backs. Rolling down when you're ready. And we'll take a brief butterfly pose, knees wide, soles of the feet to meet. Let's turn the palms up, take chin mudra, index finger and thumbs connect. Broaden the shoulders. Gently press down through the back of the head, the shoulders and the feet. Then when you're ready, lift the hips up. Inhale and exhale to lower down. Bring those knees together. Take the hands to the knees, keep the arms straight and create a little bit of resistance between hands and knees. Imprint your lower back onto the mat. Feel free to relax that grip and you can bend the elbows as you exhale, straighten the arms as you inhale. Take longer if you need to, otherwise feet up towards the ceiling. Now your hands can rest on the outer legs. Some of you might be able to reach your big toes. If so, feel free to pistol grip. Inhaling out nice and wide, exhaling back together. This time as you exhale back together, cross the left leg over the right leg, bend the knees, press the thighs together and lift the upper body off the mat. Reach the fingers towards the back of your mat. Inhale and exhale to lower. Let's twist. Hips move a little to the left, knees come down to the right. If you've got your block, you can always place it underneath the legs for support. I'm really going to be here for 3 breaths. Breathing into the lower body. Inhaling back to center. Squaring the hips, unraveling the legs, take the feet up to the ceiling once again. Either hands to the outer legs or pistol grip the toes. Follow the in-breath out wide, exhaling back together. Exhaling, right leg over the left this time, pressing thighs together, lifting upper body off the mat. And lower down, let's twist. Let's inhale back to center, uncrossing the legs now for Shavasana, taking up as much space on the mat as you can. Shoulders tucking under, palms to face the ceiling. Option to take Chin Mudra. As you close the eyes down, soften the forehead, the tongue and jaw. And just be in the present moment, in this spaciousness. Let's inhale a little deeper now. Feel free to wiggle toes and fingers. Follow any urges to move or stretch. Rolling to your preferred side when you're ready. For that nice moment, in between moments. When you're ready, yogis, bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. I really hope that you enjoyed that practice today, yogis, the physical practice, and also the short discussion on Asteya. So I encourage you to be mindful of what you are unnecessarily taking from others or from yourself. Wishing you a lovely day. Namaste.